been out on the playground with them, and I heard the big boys. Marvin Kester was in the group, and Donald G. Kester, and Orville Prine, and it was just kind of a foggy, overcast morning, and I heard him talking about what a wonderful morning it would be to go squirrel hunting. Of course, we had a bus that brought the kids into the rural school. I think we were the only school in the county that had a bus that hauled the kids in. So, and the Prines lived over on Glagtop Trail. You know, so
We
we'd be
passed that
2.5, 3 miles across here. So I rang the bell. Orville came in. He said, "I'm sick." Said, "I'm just going to have to go home." Said, "I'm just going to walk through here." I said, "No, you're not leaving here walking. If you are sick and you have to go home, then I will drive you home. I will take you home, but you're not going to leave here." So, and of course, they hadn't even told me that he was a bleeder.
Oh.
And it ran in the family. So anyway, I had him come out and sit down right here. And I said, "You sit there.
Don't hit yourself.
You sit there until I come. I'll get the kids started to work, and I'll tell Miss Sellers that I'm going to leave for long enough to take you home, and then I'll come and get you and take you home." So he sat down right on the end here. And I went on in the schoolhouse and got the kids seated and told them I was going to have to take Orville home, and Miss Sellers would be checking on them. So I took him home, and well, I came out to get him, and honestly, right here in front of this, there was a puddle of blood like this. I mean, he was just, gone. So I yelled at some of the boys come to help get him in the car, and I ran. Of course, I had to go back to Smollett, and down and catch Glagtop Trail. Ran him home, got him home, and his mother was out in the yard, barefooted, hanging up clothes. So I yelled at her to come, and she said, "Jess is gone. I don't have a car." And we had to get him to the doctor, so she crawled in with me, as I said, barefooted and had on her old apron. And we headed to town and got him to Marvin's office. And he was, just about gone.
About lost him.
So then he stayed in town, and she was going to get her family word to come to town anyway. So I came back, and when I got back to the schoolhouse, the boys had told Pauline Sellers, who was the other teacher, that she wasn't their teacher. They didn't have to do what she said. So they had gotten out in the yard and turned the toilets over. Big deal. Yep, turn both toilets over. Well, of course, as soon as I drove back in, then here they were, all the girls, of course, and the little boys to tell me what the big boys, they played ball all morning. They played ball the whole time you were gone. They didn't study, and here were the toilets upside down. So there was about 10 of them. So, of course, I brought them in the schoolhouse, and I read the riot act to them. And, of course, I was 18 years old, and they were 15, 16. And I said, "I know you boys, you don't respect me. I know that." But I said, Orville, and he was kind of the leader of the bunch. And I said, "I thought surely you would have enough respect for your friend. I said, you saw the blood, you knew what was going on, and you didn't have enough respect for him to come in here and sit down and behave yourself." And I just read her. So I said, "Everyone's going to line up. You're going to come you're going to come by my desk, and I'm going to give each one of you 5 licks with this paddle." So we had kangaroo court, and it was over, and I passed out the punishment. So Donald Jean was one of the last ones that I whipped. So I can't imagine myself whipping kids now. I just can't believe I did it, but it was expected. You were going to be run off if you didn't do it. See, so as I said, I whipped Donald Jean and gave him his 5 licks, and he turned around and he looked and he said, "I took that this time because I knew I had it coming, but I'm not taking it again for you or anybody else." And I'm gone. So he went back to the back of the room, got his cap and his dinner bucket, and he went out the door. So about 30, and I went ahead teaching schools if nothing happened. About 30 minutes later, the door opened. Here was Cecil with Donald Jean in front of him. So Cecil walked, and he said, "Did you whip him?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I did." He said, "How many licks did you give him?" I said, 5. He said, "Okay, get yourself up there." He said, "Give him 10 more right now." So I said, "No, Mr. Kester, I won't give any more now," because he took his punishment for what he was doing. So he said, "You get over there and you sit down." And so Cecil left. And I went ahead teaching school. Donald Jean was a model student from that day on. He never gave me, and I mean, I didn't have any more trouble with him, you know that. But I can still see Orville Prine sitting there, and honestly, this puddle of blood. It was like a, I mean, I thought at the time with a dish pan, you know, just. Ugh.
What happened to him? Was he? Did he survive?
He survived, but from that he was a hemophiliac.
Hemophiliac. Yeah.
And I think didn't they have medicine they carried with them?
I don't know.
I don't know, but he was.
Now, Cinita, when
But I
you were
can-
here, this was an outdoor pump, or was there a building?
This it was across the road, but this is where we got our water.
Okay,
But
what's the step?
Well,
Wonder,
actually,
any ideas, John?
it may be part of the old schoolhouse, Ken, because the old schoolhouse was right here. See, this is the site of the first schoolhouse.
Okay.
See, this one was built in the 30s
Right.
by the WPA.
Okay, well, we've got a picture of kids in front of the old school, and,
Really,
okay,
if
okay.
I were guessing, I'd say that was a step up into the schoolhouse.
It looks like a step into the school. Yeah.
wow,
I would say this was.
okay. We better go see if Hope Maryland's